Today's idiom is, she's really on the ball at work. This lively expression means someone is very alert, quick-witted, and efficient in handling tasks and situations. Imagine a player in a game, perfectly positioned and ready to react instantly to the ball's movement. That's the feeling this idiom conveys. Its origin comes directly from sports like cricket, baseball, or soccer, dating back to the early 20th century, where being on the ball meant you were attentive and prepared for action. So, when we say someone is on the ball, we're praising their sharp focus and competence. Let's look at how we can use on the ball in different contexts. Our first example is, our new project manager is always on the ball, anticipating problems before they even arise. Here, it emphasizes the manager's proactive nature and sharp foresight, ensuring smooth operations. They aren't just reacting, they're preventing. Our second example applies this idiom to personal and professional development. If you want to succeed in this competitive industry, you need to stay on the ball and keep up with the latest trends. This sentence highlights the importance of continuous vigilance and adapting to changes. In both cases, on the ball conveys a sense of alertness, efficiency, and readiness to act effectively.
Now let's explore some similar expressions. Sharp can describe someone intelligent and quick-witted, like she has a sharp mind. While it implies being on the ball, sharp often focuses more on mental acuity itself. Another great alternative is on top of things, which suggests someone is well organized and managing all responsibilities effectively, such as he is always on top of things, so deadlines are never missed. While on the ball emphasizes alertness and quick reactions, on top of things highlights being organized and in control. Each offers a slightly different nuance, so choose based on the specific quality you want to highlight. To recap, on the ball is a fantastic idiom to describe someone who is alert, efficient, and quick to respond in their work or any situation. Rooted in the world of sports, it paints a vivid picture of readiness and competence. So, whether you're talking about a colleague, a friend, or even yourself, using on the ball is a powerful way to praise their sharp focus and ability to handle things effectively. Keep practicing these idioms, and you'll soon be on the ball with your English. Thanks for joining us today. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is we go hiking once in a blue moon. This colorful expression means that something happens very rarely or almost never. The phrase literally references a blue moon, which is the rare occurrence of a second full moon within a single calendar month. This astronomical event is infrequent, making it a perfect metaphor for anything that doesn't happen often, emphasizing extreme infrequency. It adds a poetic touch when describing how seldom an activity or event occurs. Let's explore these examples. Our first sentence, my old friend only visits me once in a blue moon, but we always have a great time catching up, clearly illustrates how the idiom conveys an infrequent personal interaction. It highlights that while the visits are rare, they are cherished. In our second example, the library still stocks physical encyclopedias, but someone checks them out once in a blue moon these days. The idiom emphasizes just how seldom physical encyclopedias are used in the digital age. Both examples effectively use once in a blue moon to convey extreme rarity in different contexts.
When we look for similar expressions, hardly ever and rarely come to mind. While both convey infrequency, once in a blue moon suggests an even greater degree of rarity. Rarely might mean something happens a few times a year, and hardly ever means it almost never happens. However, once in a blue moon implies an event so uncommon, it feels almost exceptional or surprising when it does occur, drawing on the extraordinary nature of a blue moon. Use it for truly infrequent, almost once-in-a-lifetime events. To sum up, once in a blue moon is an excellent idiom to describe anything that happens very, very seldom, drawing its imagery from a truly infrequent astronomical event. It's far less common than rarely or occasionally. Next time you want to emphasize that something occurs with extreme infrequency, try using once in a blue moon to add a vivid and memorable touch to your English. It's a fun and impactful phrase to include in your vocabulary. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is all of a sudden. It started raining. This vivid phrase describes something happening very quickly and without any prior warning. The core of the idiom, all of a sudden, emphasizes extreme abruptness. Its roots lie in linguistic evolution, stemming from the older phrase of a sudden, which meant at once. The intensifying word all was added later, around the 16th to 17th centuries, to further underscore the unexpected and immediate nature of an event. It perfectly captures those moments when things change instantly, just like an unexpected downpour. Let's look at some examples to see how this idiom is used naturally. First, I was quietly reading a book when all of a sudden, the lights went out. Here, the power outage was completely unexpected, interrupting a peaceful activity. This emphasizes the abruptness of the change. Our second example is, the team was losing badly, but all of a sudden, they scored 3 goals in 5 minutes. This illustrates a rapid and unforeseen turn of events in a sports context. In both cases, all of a sudden clearly conveys that the event happened instantaneously, catching everyone by surprise, whether it's a sudden loss of power or an unexpected comeback.
When you want to express suddenness, a few similar phrases come to mind. Out of the blue is a great alternative, meaning completely unexpectedly, often with no prior hint, like something appearing from a clear sky. Another common choice is simply suddenly. While suddenly is a direct synonym, all of a sudden often carries a slightly stronger emphasis on the sheer abruptness and unexpectedness of an event. It conveys a more impactful sense of instantaneous change, making it a powerful choice to highlight dramatic shifts. To wrap up, all of a sudden, it started raining. Vividly describes something happening instantly and without any prior warning. This phrase effectively conveys a sense of surprise and abruptness, underscoring how quickly events can change. Its roots trace back to an older form of a sudden, with all later added for emphasis. Remember this idiom to describe those moments when things unfold with startling speed, whether it's a change in weather or an unexpected twist in a story. Practice using it to add impactful, natural flair to your English. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, the view was picture perfect. It describes a scene exceptionally beautiful, flawless, and aesthetically pleasing like a composed photograph. Originating with early photography in the late 19th century, it conveys an ideal, meticulously framed visual moment. Let's see it used. After the long hike, the panorama was absolutely picture perfect, highlights breathtaking natural beauty. Or, they decorated their home, hoping to create a picture-perfect setting for human-made scenes. It conveys an ideal, aesthetically pleasing environment.
Similar expressions, postcard perfect implies ideal for an iconic postcard. Flawless beauty is generally without imperfections. Picture perfect uniquely emphasizes an immaculate, photograph-ready visual aesthetic, conveying ultimate visual perfection in composition. In summary, the view was picture perfect describes an exceptionally beautiful, flawless, aesthetically pleasing sight, like a professional photograph. Rooted in early photography, it captures an ideal visual moment. Use it to vividly express ultimate visual perfection in any scene for impactful descriptions. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, the test was a piece of cake. This means something was incredibly easy, demanding minimal effort, much like the pleasant experience of eating a delicious cake. Originating in early 20th century American English, its roots likely trace to cakewalk contests where a cake symbolized effortless victory. Let's use it. I thought learning to code would be difficult, but with the right teacher, it was a piece of cake. And don't you worry about the presentation, I've done it so many times, it'll be a piece of cake. Both examples vividly show how to describe tasks that are surprisingly effortless and simple.
Similar expressions include a walk in the park, suggesting something pleasantly easy and stress-free, as in, that exam was a walk in the park. Another is as easy as pie, also highlighting extreme ease. While all mean simple, a walk in the park adds enjoyment. Choose based on your specific nuance. To sum up, the test was a piece of cake, describes any task that's remarkably easy. From early 20th century American English, it conveys effortless success. Remember this idiom next time you complete something surprisingly simple. You can proudly say, that was a piece of cake. Learning English can be easy too. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, he tells others to save money, but he should practice what he preaches. This expression highlights hypocrisy, or a clear inconsistency between someone's advice and their own actions. Essentially, it means that while someone is telling others how to behave, they are not following their own instructions. The core concept, practice what you preach, dates back to early proverbs and moral teachings, emphasizing that actions should align with one's words, especially when giving guidance to others. It's a call for authenticity and integrity. Let's explore this idiom with 2 examples. First, consider, my manager always tells us to maintain a work-life balance, but he works 70 hours a week. He tells others to save money, but he should practice what he preaches. Here, the manager's words about work-life balance and saving money contradict his own actions, making the idiom perfectly applicable. Our second example is, the politician campaigned on environmental protection, yet his own factory pollutes the river. He tells others to save money, but he should practice what he preaches. In this case, the politician's public stance on the environment is undermined by his company's harmful practices. Both examples clearly illustrate situations where someone's actions do not align with their stated principles or advice, highlighting the importance of practicing what one preaches.
When someone's actions contradict their words, a couple of similar expressions come to mind. One is do as I say, not as I do. This phrase is often used with a touch of irony or resignation, acknowledging the speaker's own flawed behavior while still expecting others to follow their advice. It's a more direct admission of inconsistency. Another related term is simply a hypocrite, which refers to a person who claims to have higher moral standards than they actually possess. While he tells others to save money, but he should practice what he preaches, specifically calls for alignment between words and deeds. A hypocrite labels the person, and do as I say, not as I do, describes the conflicting instruction. In summary, the idiom he tells others to save money, but he should practice what he preaches is a powerful way to point out hypocrisy or inconsistency. It emphasizes that actions speak louder than words, especially when giving advice. Rooted in ancient moral philosophy, this expression reminds us that integrity means aligning our behavior with our stated principles. So, next time you see someone whose advice doesn't match their actions, you now have the perfect idiom to describe the situation. Remember, the best lessons are often taught by example. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, you need to pull yourself together and focus. This means to calm down, compose yourself, and concentrate on the task. It urges regaining control of emotions or thoughts. The phrase originated from literally reassembling oneself to regain composure and clarity. Let's see this in action. After the bad news, she needed a moment to pull herself together and focus on the presentation. She's collecting emotions to concentrate. And, the coach told the team, you need to pull yourselves together and focus if you want to win this game. The team must overcome disarray and concentrate. Both show regaining composure.
Similar phrases include, get a grip and calm down and concentrate. Our idiom implies a deeper effort to overcome internal disarray, gathering scattered thoughts and emotions to focus. To recap, you need to pull yourself together and focus, encourages regaining composure and directing attention. It's a powerful idiom to motivate overcoming chaos and concentrating. Use it to remind yourself or others to get back on track. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, I don't want to rain on your parade, but that plan won't work. It means giving unwelcome criticism that dampens enthusiasm or spoils plans, expressed with reluctance. Originating from a festive parade ruined by rain, it symbolizes how joy or expectations can be unexpectedly diminished. Our examples illustrate this idiom. Whether delivering bad news about a proposal or pointing out budget limits on an idea, this phrase softens unwelcome facts. It acknowledges the information might dampen enthusiasm, allowing for a pragmatic yet empathetic delivery of upsetting news.
Similar phrases include burst your bubble and pour cold water on something. Burst your bubble implies sudden deflation of optimism. Pour cold water on something means to discourage enthusiasm. Rain on your parade carries an apologetic tone when delivering disappointing news. Choose it for empathetic honesty. To recap, I don't want to rain on your parade, but that plan won't work, offers a thoughtful way to introduce unwelcome news or critical feedback. Rooted in a parade spoiled by rain, it conveys dampening spirits. This idiom helps deliver difficult truths empathetically, acknowledging potential disappointment. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, that name rings a bell. This phrase means that a name sounds familiar to you, or it reminds you of something, even if you can't quite remember the specific details right away. It suggests a vague sense of recognition or a partial memory. Its origin is metaphorical, likely stemming from the late 19th century. Imagine a bell going off in your mind, signaling that something has been recognized or that a memory has been triggered, even if the full picture isn't immediately clear. It's like an internal alert system for your recollections. Let's explore how to use this idiom with some examples. First, did you say Sarah Johnson? That name rings a bell, but I can't place her face. Here, the speaker recognizes the name but struggles to connect it to a person or context. It conveys that feeling of, I know this, but from where? Our second example is, I think I've heard that company's name before. It definitely rings a bell. This illustrates how the idiom isn't limited to people's names. It can refer to anything that sparks a faint memory, like a company, a place, or even a book title. Both examples show that while there's a spark of recognition, the full memory remains elusive, which is the core meaning of rings a bell.
Now, let's look at some similar expressions. sound familiar is quite close in meaning to rings a bell. For instance, you could say, that name sounds familiar. It implies a similar level of recognition. However, jog one's memory is slightly different. While rings a bell suggests a passive recognition, jog one's memory means to actively help someone remember something, often by providing a hint or a piece of information. You might say, can you give me a clue to jog my memory? So, rings a bell is about the feeling, while jog one's memory is about the action of recalling. To recap, that name rings a bell is a wonderful way to express that something or someone feels familiar, even if the details are fuzzy. It's a common and natural phrase that captures the essence of partial recognition. Remember its metaphorical origin, like a tiny bell ringing in your mind when a memory is stirred. Try using this idiom next time you encounter a name or a piece of information that seems familiar, but you can't quite pinpoint why. It's a very useful expression in everyday conversations, showing you're listening and engaging with what's being said. I'll see you next time with another great expression.
Today's idiom is, as a rule of thumb, drink 8 glasses of water a day. This phrase describes a practical, approximate principle based on broad experience, not strict scientific accuracy, used as a convenient general guide. The idea of drinking 8 glasses of water is a classic example of such a guideline. The term rule of thumb itself originated from the 17th century English common usage, where people would use their thumb for rough non-standard measurements, evolving into a metaphor for any general, non-exact principle. Let's see as a rule of thumb in action. First, consider, as a rule of thumb, it's always better to arrive 15 minutes early for an appointment. Here, arriving early isn't a strict requirement, but rather a wise general practice to avoid being late and to prepare yourself. It's a piece of advice based on common experience. Next, listen to this example. A good rule of thumb for budgeting is to save at least 10% of your income each month. This isn't a legally binding financial law, but a widely accepted practical guideline for achieving financial stability. Both examples show how, as a rule of thumb, offers a simple, practical guideline that's generally reliable, even if not scientifically precise, making complex situations easier to navigate.
Now let's consider similar expressions. Roughly speaking is a strong alternative emphasizing approximation, as in, roughly speaking, the meeting will last an hour. Generally speaking applies to most situations while allowing exceptions, like, generally speaking, evenings are quieter. While as a rule of thumb denotes a practical, experience-based guideline, roughly speaking focuses on estimation and generally speaking on common truth. Each offers slightly different nuances, so pick the best one for your message. So, to wrap up, as a rule of thumb refers to a practical, non-exact guideline derived from experience. It's a handy tool for quick decision-making or giving advice without needing precise calculations or scientific proof. Remember its interesting origin from rough measurements using a thumb. Next time you share a piece of general wisdom or give an approximate tip, try using as a rule of thumb. It's a wonderfully concise way to convey practical wisdom. Keep practicing, and you'll master this idiom in no time. I'll see you next time with another great expression.